This is Stuart Ridgway, and this is my final project for Human Factors in AI. The AI service, which I'm calling the service, automates the tedious process of adding metadata, which would be evocative descriptions, relevant keywords, and common music metadata, to music tracks and songs. This helps musicians ensure their music is easily found online. In a sleek and user-friendly interface, the service listens to each song, generates the metadata, and lets the user make edits before finalizing. So for the task analysis, ultimately the goal is for a purchaser, to find my songs within a music library. Working backwards, I need to do the following. I need to ensure that when a purchaser uses the music library's search engine, that my songs show up at the top of the search results. Therefore, to assist the search engine, I need to add metadata to the song's audio file. It could be an AIF or an MP3 file. And this includes the descriptive keywords, common metadata, such as the composer, the year, the length, the publishing company, etc., and the evocative description of about 100 words. All this I'm referring to as metadata. The main decision point is when I listen to the song and I have to write and then upload the metadata. This is very time consuming and requires a heavy cognitive load, and it's often inconsistent from song to song when I do it. The service can assist with this problem by listening to the song and automatically adding the metadata for me and attaching them to the file. The service uses a database of many thousands of songs that already includes their metadata to learn how to assess a new song and add its own metadata. For the user experience design, the user interface is quite simple. As you can see here, as a user, I see a screen that allows me to upload or drag one file into the service. The service then notifies me that it has received the file and is processing it, or that there was some kind of error if that happens. After processing the file, the service displays a review screen with the resulting metadata. And I have the ability to edit any of that information. So here's the file, but it generated the track title for me, the description, and some technical details. And I actually have a second page of results here. Once I'm satisfied with the results, I click a button to finalize the file and save the metadata. The service then updates the file itself with the metadata by attaching it to the file. The service updates its running database of songs by adding this last song that I have finalized, including the updates that I made manually. This provides a feedback loop to help the service fine-tune its listening skills. The service also provides read-only access to the many thousands of songs that it has learned from, so I, as the user, can be informed in advance of the type of metadata the service generates. As a result, the service is transparent about the dataset that it has learned from, and so that there will be natural bias in the results. So here's some privacy concerns. The service needs to notify me in advance of 4 privacy considerations. First, that it captures my personal data as it pertains to the song, namely my name and publishing company, as well as my song itself. Furthermore, the service keeps this data in its database so it can continuously learn and improve its listening skills. The second privacy consideration is that it only captures personal data as necessary for generating the metadata for a particular song. Third, the service keeps all files and data in an end-to-end secure environment. And finally, the service does not share the file or metadata that it generates with anyone else. I, as the user, I have the final say on whether the service attaches the metadata to the file, and then I choose to submit that file to a music library. The second main privacy consideration is that the service must comply with the following privacy laws. CCPA, since the service is for musicians, and many of whom work and or live in LA or in states with strong privacy laws. And GDPR, since there is no reason to limit the service to those musicians in the US. For ethical considerations, the main source of bias that the service is subject to is due to the verbiage used for the metadata in the service's own database. Since the database will include thousands of songs, it's very difficult to anticipate the overall bias inherent in the metadata. As such, the service cautions me as the user to review the results and edit as needed. Regarding fairness, since the service has almost no PII about me, then the likelihood is high that the service will provide similar results for me as any other musician with a very different background. Second, the service is only generating metadata that I can choose to use as is or update or not, and as such the results are used simply to optimize search results, so the stakes are very low. Regarding accountability, the owners of the service ultimately are accountable for performance of the model and the quality of the results. And as a user, I have the ability to edit the results from the service and update the metadata. The service needs to track how large a delta there is between the results it initially provides and any changes I make. So if users generally make large edits to the results, then the owners of the service must reconsider the model. And finally, regarding transparency, since the value proposition of the service is to generate metadata that is similar in spirit to the songs in its database, then the outcomes of the service are very transparent, as is.